3, 2, 1. This week on Eagle Country 106.3 Eagle Eye News at 7. Heard Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the radio. And also around the world. Hi, Tiffany. Around the world by courtesy of the web. Now we're looking at upper respiratory problems, disease, if you will. Is that a disease?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. And there's a whole host of them. You know, when we say upper respiratory infections, that's anything and everything that climbs up your nose and gives you a cold. Okay?
Yeah.
And the one we common banty the word around kennel cough. Okay? Kennel cough usually specifically refers to Bordetella bronchoseptica. Okay, so that's the one we usually vaccinate for. But there's a whole host of diseases that can cause upper respiratory infections in dogs and cats. Interestingly, what we used to call kennel cough, Bordetella bronchoseptica, cats are also susceptible to it. And I remember, 25 years ago when I got out of school, one of the things we used to do if we had a dog with kennel cough was we put it in the cat ward. Now we know that's probably not a very bright idea because the cats can actually contract it as well. We had no idea, but they do. And there are vaccines for that as well. But that's typically what we consider kennel cough. But in general, it's probably more appropriate to say upper respiratory infection if you really don't know what's going on. Interestingly, do you know the kennel cough agent, Bordetella bronchoseptica, what it's most similar to?
I don't know. Smoker's cough.
Whooping cough.
Whooping cough. Okay.
Yeah, it's Bordetella pertussis. So they're in the same family as what we get. Now, we don't get their product, their disease, but there's other viruses, there's mycoplasmas, all these things. Now, what's interesting is typical time frame for for you to incubate this and show symptoms is about 7 to 14 days. Okay? So a lot of times you say, well, has your dog been around anybody else? Well, no, he hasn't. How about within the last 2 weeks? Well, yeah, he went to the dog park or, or he went in this situation with the other dogs or that kind of thing. So those are things, and typically they're usually not problematic. We do like to see them. We do like to cover them with cough suppressants, and in some situations we will cover with an antibiotic if we're concerned about it being a bacterial infection or if there might be a secondary bronchopneumonia. So typically, and here's the other thing that'll throw you for a loop, and we just saw one the other day. Dog came in because it was quote-unquote vomiting. When we actually start asking them what happens, the dog coughs, and then it spits up this egg whitey looking stuff, and that's actually just a gag reflex from coughing. The real problem is the cough. And so if you see anything like that going on, get them checked sooner than later, and they're probably going to put you on an antibiotic and a cough suppressant more than likely.
Sounds good. And we'll be back right after this message.